Shalom, I'm Oriel Moran reporting from Hostage Square, where today 3 Israeli hostages are being released from captivity in Gaza. Female observer Agam Berger, female citizen Arbel Yehud, and 80-year-old Gadi Mozes, as well as 5 Thai workers. The square is filled with people awaiting their release. The atmosphere is charged with both hope and anguish. Behind me, you can see the people who have fought for these hostages at this very square for over 15 months. We just now witnessed the release of Arbel Yehud and Gadi Mozes, and we're watching here on the screen just a horrendous image of basically Hamas and the Gazans all on this one van, and no one was able to get the hostages out. Everyone sort of gasped in fear when they saw the head of Gadi Mozes sort of inside this horrendous, almost barbaric, animalistic crowd. But when we saw both of them sort of get inside the van, we all had a moment of relief, and these tears of frustration, they turned into tears of joy and relief.
I think it's like a very emotional time right now. I think it's really cool that we get to actually see them come back after so long of having them sitting there and suffering, and then they get to be home to their family. And I think it's a very special day, and that they're so lucky. Like, we're so lucky to have them back, and I'm sorry that it took so long for them to come back, but it's a very good day today.
First of all, I'm happy. That's my first. My body is shaking. My body was shaking from when I saw Arbel. When the Red Cross took her over, like from the Hamas. So I was relieved. And then right away, my first instinct was to think about all the hostages that are still left in Gaza.
So many armed men who are covering their faces, who are holding her in a foreign area, withholding her own personal space, her own personal freedom from going home, even in her last moments there. They're hurting her and scaring her, and it can't be possible that 482 days have passed and this girl is cared until the last moment. It's not possible to witness, to see. We love them. We don't know them. We love them as our own people.
Here in this square, you can see a display of a Hamas terror tunnel where visitors can experience just a small fraction of what our hostages might be enduring. A dark, cramped space filled with personal artifacts and memories of those still held captive. Behind me is the Tel Aviv Museum of Art. The dichotomy between the beauty behind us of displaying all the life and richness of Israel, and then having this grotesque display of terror is just beyond me. I don't think anyone could have imagined that we would have to have this display. Come after me and we'll show you what's inside the tunnel. I want you guys to imagine hearing what we're hearing now, the explosions, the eeriness of being surrounded by terrorists that are bringing you further and further into the ground. I also want you guys to imagine the feeling of suffocation. The more you go down into these tunnels, the less air you have, the less light you have. And now I want you guys to imagine being here for 8 months, 10 months, even one day. And think about how that feels like, to think the more I go down into these tunnels of terror, the less people can hear me. No one knows where I am. This is what the hostages have been going through day after day, month after month. The recently finalized hostage deal between Israel and Hamas has brought a mix of emotions to this square. Let me break down this complex agreement. It's structured in 3 phases, with the initial 40-day period seeing the release of 33 Israeli hostages, beginning with 3 women, Romi Gonen, Emily Demari, and Doron Steinbrecher. In exchange, Israel will release 1,900 Palestinian prisoners and allow up to 600 aid trucks daily into Gaza. About a week after that, 4 female observers were released: Liri Elbag, Daniela Gilboa, Naman Levy, and Karina Ariev. The deal's second phase, starting on day 16, opens negotiations for remaining hostages, including male soldiers and civilians. The final phase addresses the return of deceased hostages' bodies and Gaza's reconstruction contingent on a full Israeli withdrawal. The families have recently received news of their loved one's condition and whether or not they are estimated to be released alive or not.
I think that everybody is in pain right now, everybody that's in Gaza, and you should get all of them back as fast as you can, even if one by one, day by day, you should get everybody back. And as much as terrorists as need, you just gotta get everybody back and get as much terrorists and do whatever it takes.
I believe in our country and the people that are protecting us, and I think that like every one of those hostages, they spend that so long there, they have the right to come back, and it's important for them to be back in their country with the people they love.
This agreement has sparked intense debate across Israeli society. In Jewish tradition, Pidyon Shvuim, the redemption of captives, is one of our highest obligations, taking precedence over almost all other religious duties. The Talmud teaches us that saving a life is paramount, reflecting the infinite value our tradition places on human life. Yet the release of Palestinian prisoners, some with innocent blood on their hands, has created a profound moral struggle. The dilemma touches every corner of our society, from security experts warning about future implications to families of terror victims grappling with the possibility of seeing their loved ones' killers walk free.
We want them home, we want them all home. They were just enjoying their Saturday, our holiest day, at home when people have come and hurt them in the most impossible way. We want them home, we want them all home. We want everyone who's done anything bad to us to pay and to be held accountable. We just want them, our brothers and sisters, to be home and at peace.
Here at Hostage Square, these national debates take on a deeply personal dimension. These photos surrounding us aren't just images. They're sons, daughters, fathers and mothers. Each empty chair at these Sabbath tables tells a story of a family waiting, hoping and praying for their loved ones to return. And today we can finally say that some of these hostages will be reunited with their families. So you can see they have put a place at the table for them. This is Ofer Calderon. You can see here he is still a hostage in Gaza, and this particular chair was taken from his house in Nir Oz. You can also see some other hostages that have a seat at the table that have come back, like Liri Albag that turned 19 in captivity, and they're still waiting for everyone else to come back home so they can have a seat in the table. For All Israel News, I'm Oriel Moran at Hostage Square at Tel Aviv. For more coverage and updates on this developing story, please visit us at allisrael.com and subscribe to our channel. And may we see the hostages come home safely.